I will call this meeting to order. Board Clerk Gamonian and Trustee Randy Villegas are unable to join us for the in-person meeting and will be joining us via Zoom online platform tonight for closed session discussion. Board Clerk Gamonian is joining us from 114 South Tommy Court, Visalia, California. Trustee Villegas is joining us from 2933 North Highland Court, Visalia, California. We do have a quorum. There are revisions to our agenda. And the first revision is under closed session 2.1, recommended reinstatements has been added. And under general agenda, item 12.1, recommended reinstatements have been added. May I have a motion to approve the revisions to the agenda?
So moved.
Ms. Naylor moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Blair seconds. All in favor? Okay, I'll do the roll call. All right. Board Member Blair,
Yes.
Board Member Gaby,
Yes.
Board Member Naylor,
Yes.
and Board Member Guerrero. Yes. This is approved 5-0 with 2 absent. Okay, our next item that needs to be approved is a motion to have Walter Gamonian and Randy Villegas join us for closed session via Zoom.
I'll motion to approve.
Motion made by Board Member Gaby. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Blair. All right, all in favor. Let me see. Board Member Blair.
Yes.
Okay. Board Member Gaby.
Yes.
Board Member Naylor.
Yes.
Board Member Guerrero. Yes. Motion passes 5-0 or 4-0. All right. Yeah, that's because Case Bersolino is absent right now at this moment. Okay, thank you. We'll move on with our identification of closed session topics. The topics for tonight are recommended reinstatements, public employee assignment, reassignment, appointment, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, complaints, conference with labor negotiator, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, anticipated litigation, and public employee evaluation superintendent. Is there any comment on closed session topics tonight? There's no public comment. We will adjourn to closed session. I will call our meeting to order. Welcome. We'll convene our regular session. And before we have our meeting, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence, being that there was a shooting at one of our schools in our country today. So if we can take a moment and observe that. Okay, so at this point, our incoming superintendent, Kirk Schrum, will read a statement.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and good evening. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the tragic shooting that occurred today in our nation and read a statement that we sent to our community. We are deeply saddened by the tragedy that occurred at Robb Elementary in Texas this afternoon. Our thoughts are with the families impacted by this horrific event. The safety of our students is extremely important to us, and as such, we diligently monitor and upgrade our safety policies and procedures. Given today's events, we wanted to take a moment to share with our families and community some of our safety measures we have in place. Using Measure A funds, Visalia Unified installed security fencing with a single point of entry during the instructional day at every school campus. Every school has a safety plan that has been approved by the Board of Trustees. Additionally, all Visalia Unified schools comply with local, state safety requirements. And we continue to partner with local law enforcement to support the safety of our school campuses. We know that these recent events may take an emotional toll on you or your student. And if you need additional support or resources, please do not hesitate to reach out to your school for help. Safety is a top priority of our school board and our district, and we are committed to an ongoing review of our practices and procedures. We will continue to inform you, our community, of our safety and security measures. And as a community, We ask that if you ever see something suspicious, notify school or law enforcement officials immediately. Thank you. And I just want to take a moment to reiterate again that safety is our utmost priority. We will be relentless in our reviewing of our practices to ensure readiness. Also want to let our community know that tomorrow we'll have additional district staff at our schools just to be visible and present and speak with any of our parents or students should they have concern. Thank you for the opportunity to make this statement, and our thoughts and prayers are with the impacted communities tonight.
Okay. Tonight, our interim superintendent could not join us, but also our board clerk Gamonian and trustee Villegas are also unable to join us for a regular meeting. Okay, we do have a quorum. We have our other board members here. And so at this moment, I'd like to introduce the interpreter. Linguistica Interpreting and Translation will serve as our Spanish interpreter for this evening. Meeting attendees who would like to listen to the Spanish interpretation of the meetings, pick up headphones from the table located in the back of the meeting room. The announcement will now be shared in Spanish.
Buenas noches, Lingüística Interpreting and Translation servirá como intérprete al español para esta reunión. Invitamos a los asistentes de la reunión que desean escuchar la interpretación en español ir por audífonos a la mesa ubicada al fondo de la sala de reuniones.
Okay, this meeting is being webcast live and recorded. The recording or webcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. Any member of the public wanting to provide public comment on items listed on tonight's agenda, please fill out the public comment form. It's a green form. It's located on the table in the back room. Please hand your form to the administrative assistant Delia Smart before the item comes up on the agenda. Please fill out a separate form for each agenda item and you'd like to comment on. Members of the public providing public comments, please use the microphone on the stand located in the front. Okay. Tonight, our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Board Member Joy Nader.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There was no action taken in closed session. Revisions to the agenda and or enclosure items. There are revised meeting handouts for this evening's meeting, enclosure number 9, 12, 16, 26, and 27. The board took action on the following meeting to approve adding 2 items to the agenda. Under closed session, item 2.1 recommended reinstatements, and under general agenda, item 12.1 recommended reinstatements. Okay, so now we're going to move on to spotlight on good things happening in the district. Assistant Superintendent Didi Semovia and some guest presenters will be presenting.
Good evening, Board President Guerrero, incoming Superintendent Schrum, board members, and our audience today. Thank you for being here. I'm stepping in today for Mr. Cardoza, who can't be with us, and we're going to get started on our spotlight for VUSD. Okay, I'm going to start with. Okay, Adam. Okay, I'm going to start with introducing Mrs. Karina Mello and Spencer Carr to start us off tonight on spotlighting the Academy of Media Arts at El Diamante.
Good evening, Board President Guerrero, board members, and incoming Superintendent Schrum. My name is Karina Mello, and I'm with the College and Career Readiness Department. And tonight I have the pleasure of introducing the last 2 of our academies, as well as their leads. The first is Spencer Carr with the Academy of Media Arts, which is housed at El Diamante High School. Spencer.
Thank you, Karina. Good evening. The El Diamante High School Media Arts Academy was established in 2015 with a focus on the arts, media, and entertainment career sector. Our mission is to provide a platform for all students to find and express their voices through the art of filmmaking, equipping them to become creative individuals and leaders in the variety of career paths within the film industry. In the Media Arts Academy, students learn cinematography, camera operation, directing, screenwriting, and editing, which are the foundational elements for success in the film industry. But not only that, students also learn character design, set design, sound design, graphic design, prop design, and makeup and prosthetics. Most people probably think that creating a film is just movie magic, but our students know that there is much more to it than that. Media arts students work extremely hard and commit countless hours to making their films as great as can be. And that hard work and dedication has been rewarded. This year, media arts students swept the video production category at the TCO College and Career Expo. At the Slick Rock Film Festival, El Diamante Media Arts has won 19 awards since 2017. Students have won in the categories of Best Documentary 2 times, Best Music Video, Best Advertisement, Best Blockbuster 3 times, and Best Animation 4 times. Media Arts has also won the Best of Show category in 2018, 2019, and 2021. Several students have also been nominated for awards in the All-American High School Film Festival, and a group of students attended that festival this past fall in New York. Media arts students are also eligible to submit films to the Student Emmy Awards. In the 2020-2021 school year, 4 films were recognized at the regional level, which encompasses San Francisco and Northern California region. 2 of those films received Pillars of Excellence and were eligible for national student Emmys. This school year, one of our films received 5 Pillars of Excellence and is now eligible for national Emmy Awards. The Media Arts Academy also offers students unique and memorable work-based learning experiences. The advanced filmmaking class that is part of our program of study is dual enrolled with Fresno City College. El Diamante is also an Avid learning partner, which means students can get an industry certification in the Avid editing software, which is the software most Hollywood productions use to edit their films. Through grants from the district, we have also been able to fund many industry tours and trips for students. Students have been to Warner Brothers Studio, and the picture in the middle is from this past April, where we took sophomores and seniors to Warner Brothers Studio. Students have been to Sony Studio, Paramount Studio, and Universal Studios. Students have also toured the film and media departments at a variety of colleges, including Fresno State, CSU Northridge, Cal Arts, Chapman University, and USC. We have also had many students take on internships, even virtual ones during distance learning last year. The Media Arts Academy achieved silver certification from the Linked Learning Alliance in 2018 and just applied for gold certification status this month. The Media Arts Academy staff is immensely proud of our students and their work ethic, dedication, and creativity. The work by our students truly shows the impact a Linked Learning Academy can have, and that students can and will succeed no matter the circumstance. I would also like to invite all of you to our showcase event this Friday, May 27th at the Visalia Fox Theater at 6 p.m., where we'll be showing the work that our students have produced this year. And I have been the lead teacher of the Media Arts Academy for the past 5 years, but I am actually stepping down this year, and Ellie Hebert is going to be taking over. She's our main video teacher. And so I'm going to invite her up to speak as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carr, and thank you to the board for all of your support over the past few years that we've started this academy. So Mr. Carr is right on a lot of things. It's not movie magic. The number one thing I think our kids take away is learning how to communicate, how to work in a team, how to creative problem solve, because everything always goes wrong all the time. And we have been doing great things. We have a lot of awards, hundreds and hundreds of hours and terabytes of student films and dailies, and some pretty successful alumni, but that doesn't mean we are comfortable. We still have some growing to do. So as the lead, I'm making a few changes. Every year I get 5 to 8-ish freshmen who join media arts thinking that we're an art academy. They sit down in the first day of school and think, I'm gonna draw, I'm gonna paint, I'm gonna sculpt. And then they look around and they're in a computer lab full of filmmaking, all kinds of stuff. So they're shocked when they find out that our academy centers
on helping students find a voice through filmmaking, which is very different from drawing. And then those 5 to 8 students drop, and now I'm left with open seats. And so it's causing quite a problem with retainment. So as the new academy lead, I'm gonna change the name of our academy to the Academy of Cinema and Television Arts, or CTVA for short. This name is much more indicative to what we do. And while we still allow students access to the same curriculum, awesome internship opportunities, and work-based learning, this is going to clear up some confusion. And I've also created a website. So if you go to bit.ly/EDHSCTVA, you can check us out. It's under construction, but it's something to get us started. I've also started a student-run leadership team within our academy that's going to be up and running next week. And at our showcase, we're going to announce the winners of all of those president, vice president, historian, all those positions. The week has been really fun. So without further ado, let's get to the kids. In the senior year of the academy, students begin in September writing original ideas for stories. By December, each student has written a full script, created a lookbook, created a pitch Bible, filmed and edited a trailer for their film idea. And then our advisory board members vote on which trailer and pitch will actually be made, which film will be made. So I would like to bring up Caitlin Henson, Kayla Meza-Ramos, and Samantha Osegueda up to this thing. This is my thing. Okay. So Caitlin here originally pitched her idea for an animation called Star Map back in December. And our advisory board committee voted Caitlin's film to be produced in the spring. And so that's what we've been working on since January. Kayla is the producer for this project. And Sam is the first student I've ever had to write and compose original music for the entire film. So she's in the back room this is really magic. I don't know how she hears a tune and then she does it on this piano that's like this big, and it's really crazy. So Caitlin, tell us, are you proud of your work so far?
Yeah, definitely.
What is the thing you are most proud about?
I'm most proud about, I didn't think that it would get as far along as it did, but it looks so good. I didn't expect it to get picked at all, but it's really cool.
It's really, really cool. So let's check out the trailer that Caitlin made for Star Map.
You do want to find those missing pieces.
Everything's just different.
Zeke, get your stuff and come over here.
Oh, coming! I've never used a star map for something like this. Everything's just different and weird.
You do want to find those missing pieces, right?
Star Map. That film is currently being made, and Kayla, as the producer, what has been the most challenging part of this project?
The most challenging part of this project, because it was the first senior animated thesis, all 6 of us on the group had to learn and pick up how to animate things, which most of us have never done. And Caitlin and one other student were the only ones that knew how to draw. So all of us had to learn together. And throughout these past couple of months, we've all learned, some of us have done a mix of things all together, coloring, line art, and it's all thanks to Caitlin because she taught us all, had the patience to teach us. But any challenge that we came across, we were able to communicate with each other, and everyone in our group has wanted to stay in this academy. So we learned how to communicate with each other well, and we respect all of each other because we want something like this project to be the best that we can absolutely make it be. So yeah.
Thank you. And then Sam, you're the first student to ever do anything like this. What's it feel to tread new ground in our academy? What's it feel like?
It feels great, first of all. I think with the Media Arts Academy, having a multitude of opportunities to do anything with the resources provided, I was able to do what I'm really passionate about. So I think it's a really wonderful thing. I thank you, Academy.
All right, thank you guys. You guys are doing such great work, and you can see the full version of Star Map this Friday at the Fox Theater. Okay, next up, we have our other senior thesis that was chosen by our board to be produced, and this film is called The Cavern of Necrodon. It was pitched by Noah Lillywhite and Kai Willie, and Avery Hazard is our producer for this project. So come on up, guys, and we can pull up that trailer. So Kai, tell us what the writing process was like and what you've learned about writing through this.
So it really started with me and Noah just kind of coming together and be like, hey, we got to make another movie. So let's go all out and let's swing for the fences. So I got to his house at 7 a.m. I didn't leave until midnight. That was a process. But having to write a story from start to finish with all the character development, knowing how it's going to start, how it's going to end, what's going to happen to each person, and being really the creator of your own world it's such a nice thing to do. And I kind of wish everyone would just write a story, because we all have the ability to do it. It's just, you just have to start it, really. You just got to push yourself and make your own story. So really, writing is such a fun thing to do. So, writing is amazing. So.
And how long was the original script for this?
Well,
too many pages to count.
Let's just say it was plus 90.
Okay, it was really, really long, but it got picked anyways. So let's check out the trailer that Noah and Kai made for The Cavern of Necrodon.
Have ye ever heard of the ill-fated warrior?
Look around you. These people, they will not last out here. Something is brewing. I can feel it. I want us to change. Like a shift in the wind.
30 years I have waited to feast. And I am famished.
So Avery, as the producer, what has been the most important thing that you've learned from this project?
So this is the first project I've ever of this scale that I've ever produced, and the trailer doesn't show, but we have about 12 main speaking roles of actors. And the most important thing I've learned is just learning how to talk to people and to communicate with people that you don't know and that you've never worked with, and just reaching out to people, being the first person to be like, hey, you want to act in our film, kind of just asking people, making connections, just kind of talking to people, because I had never really done that before. So I learned a lot, just being able to talk to people, talking to my team in a team setting like that, and talking to actors and having them, communicating with them on when they need to show up and what their lines are and things like that. And just
working with people that I've never met before, really. It was a good skill that I learned.
Well, that's so important right now, is learning how to communicate. So this is going to look really epic at the Fox Theater. It's the largest, by far the largest scale project we've ever worked on. So again, Fox Theater, 6 o'clock this Friday. I'm so excited to be the team lead for CTVA next year. I have some really big plans, and I really, truly believe that we have the potential to be the best filmmaking academy in the country. Like, I see us being that big. So you guys just wait and see. In all seriousness, thank you for listening. I really appreciate your guys' support. As you can see, the CTVA Academy has so much to offer our students. We're so much more than videos. So thank you.
Quick question before you go down.
yes, yes.
And then I want you to take your applause because you deserve it.
Oh.
On Friday night, are these short films maybe appropriate for like little ones, or are they a little bit scary like
So,
that?
the Cavern of Necrodon does have a dragon, but we saved that one for the very end.
Okay.
So all the other films, you know, we show about 3 or 4 films from each grade level. My kids will be there, and then when the dragon one comes, I'm gonna say, okay, go with daddy. You know, so yeah, you can bring kids. Huh? Oh, the sophomore, there is one horror film there that's a little bit scary. We'll give a disclaimer.
Okay.
But it is free for everybody. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, El Diamante. That's exciting. Can't wait to see those films on Friday. We're going to move on. We're going to spotlight right now TCOE Reading Revolution. And so a Reading Revolution is an annual TCOE competition designed to foster a love of reading in students 4th through 8th grade. And all year participating students read the same core list of books. There's about 12 to 14 of them. And they work with a coach to prepare for 4 events that allow them to demonstrate their knowledge and comprehension of the text, and that require collaboration and teamwork on various tasks and challenges. So this year in the 4th through 8th grade division, Manuel Hernandez Elementary School, their team placed first, and Oak Grove had 2 teams that placed 2nd and 3rd overall. So exciting for them. And then in 7th and 8th grade division, Ridgeview's 2 teams placed 2nd and 3rd overall. So congratulations to all those teams. Okay, next up we have Golden Oak Elementary School. As several of our elementary schools do, on Fridays they have an assembly and they honor students in different classrooms that have done a great job. And this time, because we've had certificated appreciation and classified appreciation, Golden Oak decided to turn things around, and their students and principals showing recognized staff during this assembly. So students and staff, other staff members and parents could recognize specific staff members and thank them for all that they do for our students. So I thought that was a really cool thing to do. And also from Golden Oak, they had their walkathon this year and they raised a total of $5,600 for their PTA. It was a Star Wars theme on May the 4th. So the theme was May the 4th be with you. And some characters came out to join the fun, as well as Goldie the bear, which is their mascot, made an appearance for the kids. So they had a good time doing that. And then moving on, we have Karina Mello coming back up here with teacher Ryan Blair to spotlight the Academy of Architecture, Construction, and Engineering at Redwood High School.
All right, to help highlight our last academy, the Academy of Architecture, Construction, and Engineering, also known as the ACE Academy, is Academy lead teacher Ryan Blair.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. I will just give the disclaimer now that I don't have the neat graphics or effects that El Diamante has, but I do want to. Yeah, I know. I did. Well, that's what happens when you talk to Jake Avila of the Business Academy and try to one-up them. So our pathway vision is to provide an inspiring hands-on learning environment in engineering and architectural fields, which maximizes individual potential, is representative of local demands and trends in industry, and ensures students are well equipped to meet the demands and challenges of their elected college or career pathway. Our mission at Redwood High School and our ACE Academy is to prepare students through exploration and relevant experiences to be productive and successful contributors in society by by developing both a curiosity for design and an inquisitive mindset that will build the higher level critical thinking skills needed to solve problems in the real world. Our current enrollment is 176 students across 4 levels. We offer 4 classes. Our introductory class is an introduction to engineering, which focuses primarily on mechanical design and the design process. Year 2, we have civil engineering and architecture, and that one is really focused on structural analyses and building codes, which lead them into a brand new class that we just started offering within the recent years, is construction management, which that course is under development as we're trying to figure out and navigate the waters of the shifts in industry. And then lastly, we made a big shift this year. Our capstone course was a full year course, very similar to Shark Tank in the sense that kids have to come up with an idea, pitch it to a board of advisors, and it's a year-long process where they have to go through the entire thing. Actually, we just gave those presentations to the panel this past week, but we chopped that class in half. We only gave them 6 months rather than the entire year. And we were going to try this because we try to bring back digital electronics based on a demand for robotics and automation within our state and within our nationwide growth. So some of our advisory partners, we have Teeter Architects, the City of Visalia, Mangini Associates, Seals Construction, Four Creeks, American Incorporated. As of late, we had someone from Steinbart in LA join our advisory board. Now that we had the capabilities through Zoom, that has been awesome because he is actually, Juan Garcia is from Porterville and has local ties here. And if he is watching this, which I don't know, I do want to thank him because he actually drove 4 hours up here for our loft event. And that kind of dedication that we have from our advisory panel and has been tremendous, especially given this last couple of years. And I'm getting baseball updates because of, yeah, I shouldn't look at that. So that's, no, I coach high school baseball, so I'm seeing what the semis are, sorry. So some of the projects that we got going on right now, I do want to just highlight a couple big ones. We just finished our freshman reverse engineering projects. Those will be on display across campus. We're still working on how we can do that, where kids literally have to tear something apart, recreate it, model it within AutoCAD systems, identify one thing that's wrong with it, and then pitch their new redesign for a simple product. So that's between valves, sprinkler heads, you name it. And they usually end up changing their ideas halfway through because once they rip something apart, they don't realize how many intricate parts are inside that they have to recreate. Construction management is a class right now that we just had the City of Visalia come by and they did a home inspection because they're in the back of the wood shop class building mini homes and tiny homes. And without telling them, their grade for this final project was inspectors coming in. And so that was their grade. They just got graded on that in the last week. So that class, we're really trying to analyze and see how we can balance the construction elements with also the management elements. And so this year we've been focusing on carpentry. We brought in our woodshop teachers. So now that is a hybrid class taught by 2 teachers where the kids are split throughout the year. And then they go back and forth between the teachers. Seniors, their capstone class just finished, but then the big highlight is what we have in store for next year. We had an opportunity with an alumni who came back, just graduated with a biomedical engineering degree. On our baseball team, we have a kid who has no hands. We're partnering with them in the Excel program after school, along with some donations, and hopefully Geiger Prosthetics has been mentioned several times. We're going to have a team of engineering students design prosthetics for this individual so that he can throw out the first pitch at our game at Rawhide a year from now. And so that's our big project that we want to kind of see brought to life. It has been something that we had always talked about, but we never really went that way because in the last 5 years, we really honed in our academy's name, and that's ACE. if we really wanted to focus on architecture, construction, and engineering, because that's the local demands. But when you have cool opportunities like this and the reach that our academy has, it would be really sad if we missed an opportunity like this. So we're going to take it on and see how that goes. So I just want to thank you guys for your time, and God bless.
I don't know how we top that. We've had some great presentations tonight. Thank you. Next, we have Global Learning Charter. So I'm going to bring up the principal from there, Mrs. Oury, and I think she has maybe some friends she's going to bring up. We have some exciting things to share with us tonight. Thank you. Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, good evening, Board President Guerrero, incoming Superintendent Schrum, trustees, teachers, parents, and community members. My name is Karen Oury, and I am the proud principal of Global Learning Charter School. First, I'm going to speak about an award that we received. So we're really honored to have received the Virtues and Character Education Award from the Bonner Center at Fresno State. Along with all of the VUSD schools, GLC has put a lot of effort into the areas of character and civic education over the last few years. This is reflected for us in our school theme, which calls out being successful as part of a community, and our school vision, which directly mentions the goals of valuing community, being collaborative, and modeling 21st century life and career skills. Our staff chose to apply for this award, not because we've fully achieved our vision and related goals, but because we are proud of our dedication to and the accomplishments we've made towards those goals and towards this integral part of a child's educational experience. There were 3 criteria that the committee looked at to determine recognition, and these were promoting ethics as a part of good character, fostering an intentional and comprehensive approach to core values, and providing opportunities for civic action. In addition to the application, a team of educators from the Bonner Center or associated with the Bonner Center completed a virtual visit to our school in which they interviewed students, teachers, support staff, and parents, and our assistant principal. And to all of our students and staff who not only participated in the visit, but who helped us build the system of supports. Thank you very much. And also we'd like to thank the district for the direction and support they've provided to us and all of the VUSD schools in the area of PBIS, restorative practices, social emotional learning. This was certainly a group effort. So that's a little bit about that recognition. So now we want to jump into probably the most fun part, and that is our students. Our students will be presenting. They're going to tell you what it's about, but we'll start with introductions. And we practiced with the podium, but we are good at flexibility. So we're going to come over here. Oh, I can turn it on, sorry.
Hi, my name is Amy Abrego, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Lily Harrington, and I'm in 3rd grade.
Hi, my name is Mason Hutchinson. I am in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Zoe Galvan, and I am in 4th grade.
We are students from Global Learning Charter School. Our grade level focused on choosing a mascot for our school as part of our PBL this year. Next slide, please. We started off learning about symbols and interpreting data as it came in. During this process, we learned that it takes a lot of time and a lot of people to make big decisions like this. Next slide, please.
The first major step we took in this project was to interview experts. We interviewed our principal, Miss Ari, and board member, Miss Gaby. They told us how mascots have been chosen at other schools and how the steps we should take to help us choose our mascot. Next slide, please. We sent a letter home to each family asking them for any ideas they had for a GLC mascot. We got a lot of different ideas. Next slide, please.
Each class worked as a team to tally up the responses. Our class narrowed down all the ideas to the top 10 choices, 5 animals and 5 non-animals. Next slide, please. We sent out another Google form to all GLC staff and students. The top 3 choices were clear. Next slide, please.
It was between the foxes, stars, or diamonds. We each wrote persuasive essays to try and convince one another to vote for the mascot we wanted. Next slide, please. We then turned over the final decision to our principals and a teacher from each grade level. They chose a mascot that would best symbolize and represent our school. Next slide. And the winner is the GLC Stars.
And with that, we thank you very much. GLC, thank you. And thank you to our student presenters. You did such a great job. So proud of you. Okay, we're going to move on to another spotlight. Is Grace Yang here tonight? There she is. Grace is being spotlighted tonight. She's a student from Hurley Elementary School, and she wrote an article that was published called The Human Connection, and she's going to share that with us tonight. Yes, okay.
Good evening, Board President Juan Guerrero. Good evening, Board President Juan Guerrero, members of the board, Superintendent Kirkstrom. My name is Grace Yang, and I'm a 6th grader at Hurley Elementary School. My article I will be sharing with you tonight is called The Human Connection. One thing that is most important to me is the human connection. It is what the world thrives upon. I use human connection to connect myself to other people and to learn more about them. I use the human connection to make friends and socialize. When COVID-19 struck us, human connection seemed out of my reach. We had to stay quarantined, do online school, stay in our homes with absolutely nothing to keep us entertained. Human connection, it felt like it was gone. The cafeteria. It was once a chattering place, friends gossiping and sharing rumors about one another disappeared, and so school was able to resume back to in-person learning after the quarantine and online school. Now, I can sit next to my friends and talk about our weekend plans and what we should do during recess. Human connection relived inside of me again. I was happy to socialize and talk to other people again. I get to share a classroom with my peers, get to know more people on a personal level and see them face to face. I get to hang out with my friends after school and work on projects as we did before. Human connection, it has returned. School field trips. All were canceled when COVID-19 first started. This year, we were able to go on field trips. I was able to ride a bus to SciCon, which is a week-long science camp. Some kids did not get the opportunity to experience SciCon last year or the year before. At SciCon, I was excited to extend my human connection with my classmates and another learning environment. I was able to talk to other girls I was sharing a cabin with and enjoy watching the little fights some would have over a pillow. I was able to walk on trails with a group of other students from different schools. Human connection. It has brought us together again. Recess. I was able to go out on the playground with friends and connect with different grades. Being able to swing on the monkey bars, go down on the slide, jump from the swings, and run on the grass made me feel overjoyed because I get to play with my friends. Having long walks back and forth around the campus, sharing stories with my friends, allowed me to continue to build on deeper relationships. Recess time is when kids create unnecessary drama with their rumors and gossip, which is part of being a teenager. Human connection. It has set the school alive once more. Human connection. It's what the world thrives upon, and so do I. Now, I sit back and watch the rumors spread during recess and lunchtime. It makes me feel like school is coming back together, and we have normal teenage problems to deal with again. Sitting in a classroom and being near people made me feel like I am human, real, alive, and present. Being able to go on a field trip to Saigon made learning more exciting because I connect with new friends. Human connection. It helps me create one authentic moment at a time with others, and that's why it is important to me. Thank you for having me here tonight. I would also like to thank my teachers for guiding me through this journey.
Thank you, Grace. I think you took all of how we've all been feeling and were able to write that. That was published in the AXA Leadership Magazine. So if anyone wants to read it, you can find it in there. Okay, last but not least. Booker? We wanted to spotlight some of our administrators who were recently award winners for the AXA, which is Association of California School Administrators. They were award winners. So we had several from Visalia Unified. Our AXA area is Kern and Kings County. Sorry, Kern and Tulare County. So there's tons of schools in there. We were so excited to have several of our own administrators up for the award this year. So we had Mr. Doug Cardoza, our interim superintendent, Ben Dillon, our director of special education, Natalie Garza, a principal of Viva Blunt Elementary School, Serena Arias, who is our director of student services, and Kristen Corliss, who is the former director of human resources development, and she's currently serving as assistant principal at Golden West High School. So on our next slide, we have pictures of each of those. They were able to go to a luncheon and receive their awards, and we're very proud of them. So round of applause for those administrators. And board and our audience. I know that was a long presentation, but we do love to spotlight all of our exciting things going on in our district, both with our students and our staff. If there's any questions, otherwise.
Any questions or comments from the board members? Okay, Ms. Naylor.
I just want to thank you because it's just so heartwarming to see those students, and they did such a great job on the presentations. Our academies, thank you. I know it's a lot of hard work, and I just truly appreciate it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the presentation tonight. On Friday, I went to visit the Media Arts Academy, and there's a lot more to that film. But anyway, and then congratulations to everyone, but especially to our staff that received those awards, Mr. Cardoza, Mr. Dillon, Garza, Arias, Corliss. I mean, you've all the staff. I feel that everybody should be recognized, but these ones stood out this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll move on with our agenda. Our next item on the agenda is general public comment. General public comment on any school-related topic may be heard at this time. The board asks that any public comment on an item listed on tonight's agenda be addressed at the time the item comes up for discussion by the board. Pursuant to board policy, the board may limit individual comments to no more than 3 minutes and individual topics to 20 minutes. It is recommended you begin your comments by stating your name. So is there any public comment? Any member from the public would like to come up? Okay, seeing that there's no public comment, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Is there any item that any board member would like to pull? No? Okay, do I have, can I have a board member make a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Okay, motion by Gaby, second by Case Selena. Okay, and What I'll do tonight is do the roll call. I'll begin with our Student Board Representative Alvarez.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Catalina Bear.
Yes.
Okay. Shakespeare Soleno.
Yes.
Okay. Muscaby.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Okay. And Juan Guerrero votes yes also. So the motion passes 6. It's unanimous. So the people are absent. Okay. I could say 62.
I'm sorry, that is 5-0 with 2 absent.
Okay. 502 absent. Thank you. And I was adding it up. That's why you're here. Okay, so we'll move on with our next item on the agenda. Our next item on the agenda is dual immersion program update and closing number 25. And the presenter tonight would be Claudia Ardon Diaz, Director of Literacy, and Amy Jones, Principal at Mountain View Elementary.
Oh, okay. Yes, now I can hear myself. Good evening, board members, Board President Guerrero, Superintendent Schramm, and community. My name is Claudia Ardon Diaz, Director of Literacy, and I am here tonight proudly to give you an update on our dual immersion program. I am joined tonight by Principal Jones and part of our dual language committee that I will be introducing shortly. The work that you will see tonight has not happened without your support. So we are really appreciative of all of your support and also with the leadership of our committee. So as we begin our in-depth look tonight, we just want to highlight our first focus area. And I'm going to focus on that first area, which really is to strengthen not only English language learner abilities, but to strengthen language learner abilities to organize and elaborate written responses, thoughts, and engage in collaborative conversations in all content areas. As we look at this work, we again want to always stay focused on our why. And our why with our curriculum department is really, we're committed as a team for that continuous improvement process. We're really also committed to lead in high quality aligned instructional systems. So you will see that tonight. And we also want to assure that all sites, in this case, the VISTA program and future sites for the dual language program are equipped to provide achievement, access, and equity for all of our students. So again, as I mentioned, this is not something that happens with just one person. It's definitely taking a team. So I would love to highlight that this has been the work of the dual language committee. So first of all, we have the Mountain View team that's part of this committee. We have Ms. Amy Tarantino Jones, the principal, Ms. Lindsay Oliveira, assistant principal, Yesenia Fierros, teacher at the VISTA program, Vanessa Gonzalez, teacher as well, and Isabel Perez, a teacher as well. In addition to that, part of the committee is also comprised of our district team. And this is TOSAs that are amazing, not only in instruction, but in bilingual education as well. So with that, we have Lisette Anaya, we have Kathleen Cifuentes, we have Nancy Espinosa, Dominic Rivera, Berta Mendez Perez, Bene Leal, and Lorena Garcia. And so I know that we usually do this at the end, but I would love the members that were able to join us tonight. Not all of them were able to join us because they have responsibilities with families, but I would like for them to stand up so that we can acknowledge all of their hard work. Thank you, ladies. Like I mentioned before, we couldn't do this with all of their hard work. And together as a team, we created our own collective commitments. So this is aside from curriculum's commitments, this is the commitments for our VISTA program. So together we promised that we were going to be vulnerable and honest as we engage in conversations about what is best instruction as we are creating a program for our dual language students. We also are committed to really communicating and collaborating effectively. In addition to that, we embrace that continuous improvement. This is a new program that we haven't had in Visalia. So we're committed to learning, really conducting the research. And if we see something that does not align or something that's not meshing, we want to not wait till the end of the year. We wanted to continuously look at that and make those needed adjustments. And we also are committed to that shared leadership and really being open-minded and thinking outside of the box. So I just quickly want to highlight some of the work that the Dual Language Committee is doing. One of the big pieces is really creating what we call a dual language master plan. And this is comprised of many artifacts. Some of them are guiding principles about what is going to guide our work together. Our hope is that we're not going to just stop with the VISTA program, but we're going to really duplicate such a program. This is something that the community has really articulated that they really would like. So all of this work that you see, creating the mission and the vision, even because we are a 90-10 program, the conversation that our committee has had in regards to what is that 10% that it's in English. We have Spanish in kinder, 90% and 10% in English, but the conversations that we have had about that 10% has been wonderful as well. Again, some of the committee work is really looking at that content area by grade level, what assessments take place, our daily schedule, and really creating a pathway where we're going to really not just stop from TK to 6th grade, but really building a pathway all the way up to secondary. I just wanted to quickly highlight that creating such a program creates a decision-making process. So one of the things that the committee has done is made a process on how do we decide when decisions are made. So for example, if we want to make sure that our committee members are heard, that if they have an idea or if they read an article about research, it doesn't just come from one single person in the curriculum department. It could come from a teacher. It could come from a community member. It could come from a parent. That we listen to that process. We listen to those ideas. We also have a process on how that is going to be addressed, what it implies, what do we need to consider, and then how do we reach that agreement. So even though this seems like a small piece, again, it's about that intentionality. It's about having voices being heard, and it's about us working together as a team to make the best program possible. So having said that, just wanted to highlight that as a district, we know that everything is connected. We start from the LCAP, really connecting it to the dual language master plan, the school's single school plan of achievement, and it goes all the way up to the classroom. It goes all the way to student learning. So all of those pieces are connected, and that's what makes a successful program. But with that said, I would now like to turn it over to Miss Amy Jones.
Good evening, President Guerrero, trustees, and incoming Superintendent Shrum, and community members. Thank you for being here tonight and welcoming me. I'm excited to be here. So that was a great overview of the district and of the systems that are in place and what it takes to really launch an inaugural program of this magnitude. It is something that has been our pride and joy at Mountain View and has been an exciting endeavor working with this great team. So just a little bit of a background, it's probably a little bit of a review for you, but I do want to review some of the main key points here about two-way dual immersion. As many of you know, there are different ways of teaching bilingual education. And recently, in the last decade or so, there has been a special interest in dual immersion programming. There's many reasons for that, as the research suggests. At Mountain View and in Visalia Unified, we have a two-way dual immersion, which means that there is a balanced number of English learners as well as English native speakers. So that's a 50-50 divide in the classroom. Students develop high levels of achievement in their first language and high levels of proficiency also in their second language. The curriculum and our instructional goals are aligned to the California state standards. And what's interesting is Claudia mentioned a little bit earlier that we are a 90-10 program. That means that all core curriculum is taught in Spanish. And that's exciting for us. It poses many challenges. And so there are gaps in the literature to this day. So there is a lot that we are uncovering. As she suggested, we continue to dig into the research. We're collecting our own data as such, and we are looking forward to having our students not only be bilingual, but also biliterate by 5th grade, 5th and 6th grade. We are data-driven. As I mentioned before, we are looking at both quantitative and qualitative data. So super exciting as we expand the program. We are looking at adding 2 more classrooms next year. We started small this year with 2 kinders. It's been fantastic. Next year, we look forward to inviting 5 more teachers onto our campus to help us out in 1st grade and kinder. So we're gonna have 2 teachers in each classroom doing a team teaching model. So we're really excited about that support. So what are the benefits of DLI? What does the literature say? And what does the research show? The research shows that English speakers and English learners learn together in the classroom in that 50-50 model. And what's neat about that, it's called translanguaging. And students will have the opportunity to choose their own repertoire of language skills as they begin to speak and learn and practice and learn and model for each other. Research shows that students attain high levels of literacy in both languages. Also, research shows, and this is pretty exciting, that English proficient immersion students are capable of achieving as well as, and in some cases better than, their non-immersion peers on standardized measures of both reading and math. And so we know that the research shows that there's going to be a little bit of a lag for our early learners, but by 5th grade, we should see an acceleration. We're tracking that data to make sure that we are on the right side of that research. So exciting stuff for Mountain View, and I'm going to turn it back over to Mrs. Ardon-Diaz.
Thank you, Mrs. Jones. So one of the things that we want to share with you is that we're learning. And so we're learning by engaging in the EORISE training. They have a dual language portion just for our dual language team. We also are using the guiding principles that really guide our, how we create this program. In addition to that, we're partnered with the San Diego County Office of Education. They're really well known for their dual immersion leadership. And we're attending trainings, we're attending conferences. I'm very pleased that part of our committee and our teachers are going, and our principal are going to be joining at ATDLE, which is really well known for our dual language immersion training conference. It's going to happen this summer, and we're also attending CABE. That's a lot of learning from other districts as well. We're learning from Porterville and surrounding districts. And one quick story that I'm going to share is, as we engage and work with Porterville, we realized that one of the change ideas was that we save aside newcomer seats. So one of the challenges that we've discovered is that as parents want to enter the program, usually the parents that are super excited about entering are those that speak English only. Spanish-speaking families feel like we know the language. So what Porterville does is they leave seats aside for newcomer students that come from another country. And so we thought, what a great change idea. We're going to be able, because we're learning from others and learning from other districts, we're going to now be able to provide our newcomer students now in kinder and first, and as the program advances, we'll be able to provide those other grade levels in elementary. We wouldn't have been able to do that if we wouldn't have learned from others. So again, we're committed to that continuous process. Like we mentioned before, where we started at the beginning is not where we're going to end up, and that's how we like it. And that's the same thing that's going to happen next year. Where we begin next year is not where we're going to end up, because we're continuously learning. So again, just super excited about the work that's happening in our district, and super excited about the work that's happening in California, aligned with Global 2030 that has that mission to create multilingual learners. And we're excited that Visalia is part of that mission and that vision. And now we are going to end with a highlight, a video of our VISTA program. as the video is being pulled up, because I know how stressful it is when you're waiting for it. Any questions that we may answer?
Any questions or comments from the board?
Because I know you guys know, but my daughter's going next year, so. So thank you. And since I've been a board member, I've been just so excited for this program, and I'm happy to see it now kind of, well, I don't want to say firsthand because I'm not in it, but secondhand.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I know that school's ending soon, but I'd like to get over to your program next week. This week I can't. So if I can have the principal email me some dates during the day, because we're having graduations in the afternoon, but maybe I can get over there in the morning next week sometime.
Okay, I'll email.
I want to go too.
Ms. Nader.
Yeah, I had the opportunity of visiting, and it's a great program. I just enjoyed watching the kids interact and speaking in Spanish, and it was, I said before, we need to advertise it because it's a great opportunity for our kids.
Hola, my name is Amy Tarantino Jones, and I'm the principal at Mountain View Elementary. Welcome to the VISTA program.
School year, our students showed limited Spanish proficiency, and now at the end of our school year, families are excited to share that their children are starting to engage in Spanish conversations with their Spanish-only family members.
And this program has been extremely beneficial for him and our family. Being in a primarily Spanish-speaking community, I think it's important for him to know both English and Spanish, and it's going to benefit him in the long run. In his future career, he will be able to provide services for the community, and I think it's a fantastic program. The teachers have been absolutely amazing with him. They have taught him so much, and we are thankful for this program.
At home, she's speaking more Spanish to us. She wants us to speak Spanish to her more, so I really like it.
I love it. My daughter Paige went to the program not knowing absolutely no Spanish. Now she is able to, at least for the most part, understand.
Señorita. You and how. También hablaremos sobre cómo trabajar en un equipo. A la manera de los Estados Unidos.
¿Cuántos lápices tiene Carlitos ahora?
Me gustan las matemáticas. Sam no puede dormir. Sam no puede dormir. Veo una luz. Aprendió español y mis letras y sonidos. Yo puedo leer, yo puedo cantar. Me gusta mi mamá con mi papá porque darle besos.
I'm so happy that I could finally find a dual language program in Visalia, especially in the Visalia Unified School District. I know there's some in other charter schools, but it's very competitive. It's really hard to get in. So I'm really, I'm happy that my younger daughter has the opportunity to get into this program because there's not really any options locally. So I'm really happy for that and excited.
Thank you.
Just wanted to mention that as we speak to other, like San Diego County Office of Education, they mentioned, and they work with a lot of dual language programs, and they mentioned that they had never met a district giving so much support to the program as Visalia Unified. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you for your support. Thank you to our committee. The work is wonderful because of all of you. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. That was information only. Our next item on the agenda is extended year and summer program report, enclosure number 26. Area Administrator Rick Hamilton and Alma Navarro.
Good evening, President Guerrero, and incoming Superintendent Schrum, board members, and community guests. Thank you for being here. And today my name is Alma Navarro, Area Administrators, and along with Mr. Hamilton and Mr. Vaca, we're going to provide for you guys a report on extended year and our summer school program. So as you can see, this is our graph organizational chart, and it shows all the 13 sites where we're going to have elementary summer school, as well as the middle school this year. It will be at the Visalia. For high school, we're going to host it at El Diamante and Mount Whitney. For El Diamante, they will be serving Redwood students as well. And at Mount Whitney, they will serve Golden West. And this will also include our Sequoia students and BCIS. For special education, it actually is going to serve students in preschool through 12th grade. And we're going to host that at Crestwood, Compass, Mount Whitney, and also El Diamante. We're going to focus on our Department of Rehabilitation for students in secondary students, sorry. And all the sites are paired up with one other elementary sites, except for Fort Creeks, who's going to be with GLS and Crowley. Our summer school this year is going to run June 13th through the 30th. The feedback that we received from staff last year is that they felt that it was really rushed to finish the school year on a Monday and then the following day start summer school. So we listened to their feedback, and we're going to have sort of like a week transition for our elementary sites. The focus this year is really on providing enrichment opportunities for our students. We're really excited that we're going to provide something very different than what students experience during the school year. And we're going to do that through what we call PBL, or project-based learning. Sites will have a pathway. Half of the elementaries will be focused on environmental science, and the other half will be on health science. We're also going to continue providing PE for our students, and we'll continue having our libraries open. We're very fortunate that we have both classified and certificated staff to be able to provide this for our students. We have close to 130 certificated staff and more than 70 classified staff members who are going to support us. That includes paraprofessionals, counselors, of course, our principals, assistant principals who are going to be acting as the principals for summer school. We have close to 3,300 seats available. And as of today, families continue to enroll. So we are very close to that number. Part of the experience for elementary students will be taking field trips. I have to say that our CNI department have done a great job making sure that these field trips do take place, and that they have a project at the end of those 3 weeks that the students and teachers can feel proud of. So we're very thankful to all the different departments that have been able to make this possible. All our families were notified whether or not their student was enrolled in summer school. Our link continues to be open, and as sites continue receiving that enrollment, they notify right away whether they are on the wait list or enrolled. And we continue to make changes to the staffing because enrollment looks different from site to site. And now I will invite Mr. Vaca.
Thank you, Mrs. Navarro. Good evening. So for middle school, summer school, we do have 2 cohorts that we'll be providing. One of the big changes for this year is that we'll be adding 6th grade to the middle school summer school. And we've been working on creating a bridge class to ensure that our 6th graders feel confident and ready to go for middle school. And so we're going to focus on some AVID related strategies, such as organization, communication, as well as a project-based learning unit of study. We've done some units of study in computer science, engineering, and flight principles from Paxton Patterson. And the culminating experience will be a study trip to Fresno State. They'll get a campus tour. They'll visit the engineering department. And then we are working with Mrs. Phillips, crossing our fingers on providing a bowling experience to our sixth graders. So if any of you want to join, we're finalizing the dates to go on the study trip to Fresno State with our sixth graders. Please let us know. And then for 7th and 8th grade, it'll be an opportunity to continue to revisit those priority standards most commonly missed in ELA and math in order to continue to get them ready for the next grade level, whether it be 8th grade or 9th grade. Additionally, some of our 8th graders will have an opportunity to earn 5 credits in health during the second session of high school summer school. Staffing wise, we have a principal. We have 26 certificated team members and 7 classified. Our current enrollment for 6th grade is 591. So one of the things that we did with 6th grade, we gave parents the option to enroll their student for this wonderful opportunity. And we also worked with all 6th grade teachers in our system to identify students that could greatly benefit from this opportunity. So it's a combination of both. 7th grade and 8th grade, we use marking period 5 to identify the students that are struggling in ELA and math. And so in 7th grade, we've identified 416 students. In 8th grade, 516. So we're looking at where we are projecting an enrollment of 1,523 students for middle school, summer school. Thank you.
So good evening, board members, incoming Superintendent Shrum. Again, my name is Rick Hamilton, and I have the pleasure of overseeing the high school summer school program. So what you have in front of you right now, the color-coded chart, the orange coloring are the in-person learning opportunities that we're offering, the more traditional summer school credit recovery-based in-person learning. The yellow programs are online, and I say online as opposed to virtual. Online does have an in-person component matched up with it. It is predominantly online. The Monday through Thursday are the traditional acceleration classes, social science programs. And then Friday this year, we were able to work with VCIS and partner with them to offer a credit recovery online program so that our students that are far behind in credits, as we've talked about previously with some of the COVID problems that we faced. So now students, instead of earning 10 credits in a summer school program, they have the opportunity to earn 20 credits in summer school to help them catch up. So we're really excited about that opportunity. Looking at some of our numbers. So in person right now, we're serving roughly 2,100 students per semester. That's in person registered. And then with our Monday through Thursday acceleration program, approximately 1,200 students per semester. And then currently with the Friday program, about 250 additional students. So we have quite a large program that has caused a delay in our notifications. Normally last week would have been our time to notify families whether or not they were enrolled in summer school. Because of the amount of demand that we had, it exceeded our ability to supply teachers. So we've worked hard with the HR program. They've worked really hard to help us recruit staff. We were able to add staff. And so now we're at a point where we're going to be notifying families that we're going to be enrolling pretty much everybody in the credit recovery. The online programs, we still have a lottery system to help people get in that are looking to accelerate because we did focus our efforts on the credit recovery base. But we are going to be notifying first through email and Blackboard by the end of this week, and then letters will go home the first of next week. So the families have that notification on whether or not they are in programs. So for our ESY, so our extended school year special education program, We are offering that as Mrs. Navarro mentioned, at Crestwood and at Compass on June 10th through July 8th. It is an in-person program, again, to support our students on IEPs. This year, a little different. In years past, we had a specific migrant education program at a site just for migrant education. This year, we worked to provide our migrant education program across all of our sites. So all of our students that have been identified as migrant have been invited to attend all of our programs, regardless of the school. So we are working to include them mainstreamed in all of our programs. And then this year, again, we're working to transport our students because we are doing 13 elementary sites. Those students that would normally qualify for transportation will be transported first to their primary school of residence, and then we will transport the students to the school that they're attending for summer school. That's the same with high school, middle school, and our elementary programs. And then again, we are partnering this year with our partners with Pro Youth to offer extended day opportunities. So with Heart for kindergarten through 5th grade, our EDGE program in grades 6 through 8, and then Pro Youth Excel for grades 9 through 12. So again, they'll offer enrichment activities, and then they'll support our library services again for that extended full day opportunity, since summer school is typically done by about noon, 12:30. And this year we will continue to feed students. They will receive a daily hot breakfast and lunch. And then students not enrolled in summer school also have the opportunity to come in and go to the hosting sites to access breakfast and lunch during those assigned times. And with that, we'll entertain any questions.
Yeah, we have a question here.
Okay.
I just want to thank staff because this is a huge logistical thing to put together for our kids, especially coming out of, interrupted learning and all of that for the past couple of years. So I just want to say I appreciate everyone, and especially our teachers and staff that are signing up to work additional and to work in the summer. We just so value and appreciate that. Looking forward to not only recovery type opportunities, but opportunities to accelerate and all of that as well. So knowing sometimes people miss information. If I'm a parent or a student and maybe I missed some of the information coming out, what would you recommend for someone that may still be interested in some of these programs? Who would they direct questions to?
So from a high school standpoint, they'd contact their high school student services department because they're still enrolling students. They're still working with students to get them. There's opportunities after the notification for a lottery because students decline to come and we have open seats. So that's a high school basis. Middle school and elementary school, I would turn over to my peers because that's their area of expertise.
Yeah, same elementary, they will connect with the principal, their site, their school, their teacher. They would be able to point them in the right direction.
Ditto for middle school.
Okay, so I do have a question regarding high school. What is, and I'm asking this because there was a gap there for elementary waiting a week. Is that the same for middle school?
No, middle school's been notified already, I believe.
Okay, what day do they start?
June 7th.
June 7th, high school?
High school, same.
June
Yeah.
7th, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments from board members?
My only comment would be about the elementary and middle school. Like, I really appreciate kind of that focus on enrichment. There's only so much you can do in such a short period. Plus, I think kids just learn so much during that project-based, and appreciative to staff. I know curriculum staff went out also and found new kind of exciting ways to engage our students in math and science. And so thank you to all of you.
No more? Okay, thank you for your presentation. That was information only, and we're going to move on to student representative report. Ms. Alvarez, Redwood High School.
Good evening, everyone. To start us off on our school report, I'm going to start off with VCIS. VCIS held its first annual, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce this, Fornisix Expo on Monday, May 23rd. The students did a great job presenting their case studies to the VCIS faculty and parents. VCIS also, health science programs are participating in the USD CTE medical programs completion ceremony this Wednesday, May 25th at Ridgeview Middle School at 6:00 p.m. Moving on to VTech. VTech FFA will be hosting their spring banquet on the 19th of this month to recognize students' accomplishments with the FFA. VTech hosted a successful back to school night on the 5th for current, future parents and students where students showed off their skills and some even brought their dancing horses to perform. VTech FFA will be offering internships to 5 students this summer to complete 100 hours for a $500 scholarship through the Scholarship Foundation. VTech had their first sports rally to recognize their students who complete at different schools. Now on to El Diamante. El Diamante hosted a rally for their spring sports last Friday. The theme of the rally was cars, and they honored baseball, softball, dive, swim, and track. Their link crew is hosting a Dude Be Nice this week. There will be dress-up days, such as dressing up as their favorite celebrity or meme. Their lunchtime activity is a full-week basketball tournament. This Friday, the Friday before spring break, LD hosted a takeover. This activity was meant to remind students of the effects on vaping and how it can harm a person in so many different ways. There was music, a car show, and a lunch carnival. Girls basketball had a meeting yesterday to see who was interested in joining next year. Now Golden West hosted a very successful prom this past Saturday. Golden West softball will continue on to playoffs this upcoming Monday, and Trailblazers seniors will be recognized at the scholarship night and at the Rotary Theater. Mount Whitney celebrated their annual farewell assembly as well as their Oak Day tree on May 18th, where they recognized so many amazing senior accomplishments and were able to pick up their yearbooks. Mount Whitney held their senior barbecue their Thursday, May 19th before lunch. Seniors were able to eat as a class and sign yearbooks. Later on that evening, ASB hosted a senior sunset. Mount Whitney enjoyed the all-school district prom hosted by Golden West. Everything went extremely well. May 17th and 18th, Now Whitney's choir held their annual choir show at the L.J. Williams Theater. The theme was movie night, where they sang songs from all different musicals. Today, Redwood had a very busy afternoon plan. They had a senior barbecue, log night, and senior sunset, all starting off at 4:00 and ending by 8:30. Redwood seniors are off to grad night at Disneyland tomorrow morning. They will be returning on Thursday. Redwood just had their traditional powder puff game 2 weeks ago. Seniors turned it into a fundraiser and raised almost up to $1,000. Seniors also had won their close game. RHS also just had a senior tailgate and log day on Friday, where Redwood students said their goodbye to seniors at assembly, and seniors showed their plans after high school, and it was very emotional. And that's all I have.
Thank you. The board really likes to hear those reports. We really, really appreciate that. And I want to thank you very much for that. We'll go on with our meeting. Our next item on the agenda is board member reports, and I'll start with Ms. Blair.
Thanks, Brielle, for sharing. So it's been a very full couple of weeks. I got to visit Viva Blunt and walk through with Natalie Garza, which was amazing. She's just doing such a good job with her school, and got to walk through several classrooms, and her specialized learning centers are just run so well. And the kids are all engaged and so happy and feel so confident in their classes. I just want to thank Andy DeMeo and all of the staff who helped put us in different places shadowing our classified staff last week. It was amazing. I got to spend time at Mount Whitney in the Specialized Learning Center with Mrs. Garcia and Miss Katie. Her last name is also Garcia. So they're Miss Katie and Miss Garcia. And it was the sweetest class. I spent an hour with them, watched their morning meeting, watched them do their work. They were so confident in their class. They were so fun. The seniors were so excited. Then I got to spend an hour in the library at Ridgeview with LaDonna Jones. And I just am so excited about our our school libraries are amazing, and our librarians, they recognize every student that walks in their library, and they know most of their names, and the job that they do is engaging kids is just incredible. And then I got to spend an hour at Royal Oaks in nutritional services. I got to serve lunch, which was my favorite. It was so fun. And then I got to go to the district office end of year luncheon, which was so exciting to see lots of people win awards and pins and for working in our district for so many years. I then got to get this awesome shirt from Amy Sullivan for early education. I got to walk through Sequoia Preschool with her, and I love going into the preschool classrooms because I was a preschool teacher for 9 years. And so I just love walking through and seeing what the kids are doing and how they're learning. And it's so important and so special. Then I got to go to the retirement reception, which was incredible, and seeing the people that work in our district for years and years. There was someone, I don't remember her name, but she worked for 42 years. But I remember that because I'm 42. And I thought that's a long time to work in the same place. It was amazing. And I just feel so proud of our school district. We're doing some amazing things.
Thank you. Ms. Naylor.
Yeah, I did not have a chance to go, but it's just amazing how many years of service our employees will dedicate to our students. I had the opportunity to go to the Mount Whitney Agriculture FFA Awards a night and banquet. Great event. It was emotional. The seniors got up there and did these speeches, and they cried, and they just the support that they get, and through their emotional speeches, you can tell that those teachers, and I'm gonna, it's Miss Brown, it's Mr. Cardoza, Mr. Patrick, and Mr. Rios. That was obvious that those students really appreciated them and the support that they give them. I can't say enough. So thank you, Mount Whitney Ag. And I know it's across the district, but I happened to go to that one. So I really appreciate it. I also had an opportunity to go and see our talented students from Mount Whitney High School do their spring show. And I love and I'm a very proponent of our VAPA. It was so enjoyable. And I'm just gonna say, I am just so excited to see our kids back to normal. We're having prom, we're having dances, we're having activities, just to listen to that. That's what it's all about. And that connectedness to school. The spring show it's always a great activity. Kids, are in there, they're smiling, they're laughing, they're having fun, but they're so talented. And it was just such an enjoyable night. And last night I went and with Mr. Guerrero and Superintendent Schrum to the Automotive Pathway industry partners and our student intern recognition. And again, that CTE component, and I thank you. I know we had a lot of teachers there, a lot of our community industry partners there, and just to give of their time to our students, because it really means a lot to them, and that connection between the community and actually a job. They do interviews, they actually go in and work at the job, learn what it's like. It's just an amazing program. All of our CTE programs are just so amazing, and our kids are getting such incredible experience and opportunity for them. And so I'm going to say, Miss Leone, thank you. I know it takes a huge commitment, and we have a lot of great teachers, a lot of support staff, and I know the hours that it takes. So I just appreciate taking that time. And I just want to say, I love the fact that our students come and do presentations tonight. It just warms my heart when those kids got up here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It just shows that our kids are excited about learning. We're doing a great job. Our staff and our teachers and our administrators are really supporting our schools. And so thank you so much.
Ms. Casper Selena.
Thank you. The first thing I wanted to say was, Ms. Alvarez, we missed you at the last meeting. I know you were in a car accident and we were worried about you, but I'm so happy that you're here and you're doing well. I hope you get that off soon. I attended the open house at Royal Oaks. It was really wonderful. My daughter said it was the best night ever because she got to have cotton candy and show us her schoolroom. So apparently that's all we need to do at home. I'm really looking forward to the upcoming graduations. It'll be my first time as a board member going to a regular graduation. So I'm excited to see that, even though it's gonna be real hot, but we will be there. And then lastly, I just know that this is the last board meeting before the end of the school year. And so just a big thank you to all of our employees and staff at VUSD, from our support staff to our teachers. Thank you for kind of getting us, I think what everyone said tonight was getting us back to where we are. And we're so excited to be going into the next school year. Just return. I mean, it's going to be our first full, complete from day one school year next year. And so I'm so happy and excited that the staff has worked so hard to kind of get us to where we are heading into that. So thank you for that and all your hard work over the year.
Ms. Gaby.
Yes, definitely echo that for sure. We're here like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks from the end of school. So that's just amazing. Also, again, thank you for Mr. Sanchez, our CSEA president, and Mr. DeMeo, if he's back there. I know that it was probably quite a puzzle trying to organize us all to go out and shadow for classified week, but I think it was a great experience. I got to go, he did stick me at the middle schools, which is interesting, but, I got to go to Divisadero and Valley Oak with our campus supervisors, and Pinkham, where I didn't get to serve food in the cafeteria. I had to clean tables, so not sure about that either, but no, it was a great experience. And also, thank you to Dr. Ari for bringing your students and empowering them to speak tonight. And they really did own the process. I was also out there for Read Across America Day and started talking to them about it and where they were in the process. And those students, each one knew which one they wanted. They knew why, what it represented, and they're just so empowered in their learning. So thank you for that. Lastly, I went to the CSBA Delegate Assembly last weekend, which was a great opportunity. It was the first time there, so I was kind of getting caught up to speed on some of the legislation going through, but really it made a huge impact on just learning about how really different some of our needs are here in the Central Valley and in a rural community. One of the things that stood out the most was there was 2 different legislations on there about transportation. And one of them that they ended up opposing was the one that said we would provide free home to school TK to 6th grade for all students within after a half mile. And the part of that was, kind of insightful to learn is that we are really in about the top, 20% in size of district. There were 944 districts, kind of like, not all they're represented somehow. And we have, we're really in that very top percentage of how big our district was. And so none of these other districts think about the area that we cover and how much that would cost, a district like ours. They were saying that Tulare County is about the size of Maine. And we, and then in response to that, though, there's now a bill being pushed through to provide home to school transportation, but funded at 100% of what the cost is in, real dollars of gas prices and all that good stuff. So, really the overall just kind of takeaway was how important it is for us to be there and representing our area. And so mostly for that, I would like to thank President Guerrero, because he's really the one that spoke to me and said, we need representation. Will you do this? And so I appreciate that. And he's always kind of pushing us to be out there and networking and learning from other districts. And so thank you to that. And again, thank you to staff.
Well, thank you for being there, really. I mean, if we don't have people there, then our voice is not going to be heard, period. Okay, so I'll go on with my report. And Boy, the ACE program, I want to do this again next year. It was really good for the board to get out there and go to the different schools. And I have a kind of a long report and I'll try to be quick. So I went to Denton, the SLC program, and what I went to the program, but what we did is we took some of the students into the mainstream classes, and I walked into a first grade class, and it was good. It was interesting. The students were all engaged, and the students that were in SLC were participating alongside our regular mainstream students. And my biggest challenge there was finding a seat because they were all little seats, you know. So I did that, and then after that, I went to Crestwood Elementary, and I went to preschool. Okay, the seats are smaller. So, you know, the kids there were 3 and 4-year-olds, okay, up to getting close to 5. And, you know, just seeing the staff there, you know, there's a whole lot of little kids, and they were all had their tables, they were all engaged, and it was a really neat program to see. And then I also went to the middle school front office at La Jolla. And the main thing there is that I already knew what I was going to walk into. And what I did is basically got out of the way. And the front office is where everything happens. The parents come in, the teachers come in, students. It's constant going and whatnot. And I was really impressed with the front office staff there. And I really do appreciate all the work they do in all these schools, all our schools. After that, I also went to Creekside Community School, and I was there with our social worker, Josie Brunias, and she does the Joven Noble group. And I was there on Wednesday and Thursday and participated in their discussions. And I was also at the district end of year celebration luncheon. And yeah, there was recognition for the years of service, 10, 15, 20. And so that was a very, very nice event. All the district staff was there that works in this location. And then I also went to the Future Farmers of America banquet, and it was just like Ms. Nader said, very, very heartwarming, very engaging. And in between all that, the next day I went to Bakersfield, and I went to the Golden West High School Foothill softball playoff game. Would have liked a better outcome, but you know what? The main thing is that they were there and they participated in this playoff game. I also went on a curriculum tour of Mount Whitney House Science, which is an outstanding program. And they will also look for gold certification, which is the highest certification for learning pathways. After that, I was able to go to the media arts program. You saw that. There's a lot more to that film, and there's a whole bunch of students that are very engaged in that program. They actually started asking me questions and to see what I saw out of that film there. There was more to it, like I said, and they were very engaged. In addition, I stopped at the Strong Academy, and that's all the house. It's health science, but it's more than that, and it's physical therapy and all, you know. So they had different groups of students there. I happened to be there with the sophomores. Okay, very neat program. And I also went to Albo Creek school visit, and we looked at the portables being installed, and I know they're working on the well issues and water issues. So, you know, I'll go ahead and follow up on that a little bit later. But Principal Hell was very, very good. She took me all around the school there, and I got to sit in the classrooms, look at the classrooms, and meet our staff. Then I went to the Visalia retirement ceremony. And, you know, there's a lot of folks probably my age that are retiring, and, you know, they gave a lot to our schools, and I'm very thankful for them. And I think the district is very thankful for them as well. And it was a large group because we brought in the staff that retired during COVID. Not all showed up, but the ones that did were very appreciative being there. In addition, on Saturday, incoming Superintendent Kirk Shrum, went to the CSEA annual picnic, and we went around and we talked to everybody there, and we also ate a hamburger. So it was a real good event, real nice event, being with our staff and their families. And last night we went to the automotive reception, which is really good because our students were there with their industry partners, and there was a lot of recognition that went on there. And then lastly, I'd like to thank Ms. Alvarez, and I'm glad that, I know you're wearing that thing on your arm, and I know you were, you went through that accident. I'm glad you're here. But I also want to mention to our staff and to our board is that this is your last meeting, and I want to thank you for being here. Thank you very much. And as some board members have already said, I want to thank the staff for all their work this year. This is our last meeting before school finishes. And, staff does a lot of work, and we are very cognizant of that, and we do appreciate all their work. So tonight, we just sprung this on him. So he wrote a report a few minutes before the meeting. So incoming Superintendent Kirk Schrum will provide his report.
Thank you for that. And I also want to echo Trustee Gaby. Thank you so much for being the delegate. Just having a voice at the table is so important. We are a unique community of Visalia and Tulare County. And so it's important that our interests be at the table. And so thank you for doing that. I'm honored to be here, a resident of Visalia now. And since being named superintendent, I've had the opportunity to visit campuses, attend events. You heard several tonight. Meeting with our stakeholders, and at the risk of naming a few of the highlights, I'm going to obviously not be able to name all of them. So I'll just say that disclaimer here at the beginning. But also, as you've heard tonight, attending the Mount Whitney FFA banquet, Shannon Ranch Elementary School musical, our visual and performing arts showcase, our auto pathway industry partners, our annual picnic with our Classified Employees Association, Shadow to School Nurse for Classified Employees Week. And, the other day had the opportunity to have lunch with our Visalia Education Foundation group. And I can tell you that it's important. That is a group that supports our teachers and our arts. And so I look forward to doing more work with them. But the takeaway from all of this is just one, how talented our kids and our employees are, and how proud we are to have so many partners in our community. We couldn't do this work without them. And people talk all the time about kids need soft skills, kids need this and that. Well, I think you see through our presentations tonight and through these experiences, how that can happen in a real world application. So just so powerful tonight. Want to also let the community know and our board know at our June board meeting, I believe it's June 14th, and off the top of my head, I will be presenting my superintendent's entry plan. So looking forward to being able to present that and discuss, some of our path forward for this upcoming year. And finally, I will also say for the last regular school meeting of the year, just want to encourage everyone to enjoy these events that are occurring right now, from graduations to end of the year celebrations to picnics, whatever is happening. Just take a moment to enjoy the experience and be in that moment. And of course, be safe. We want to have a safe end of the year season. And of course, wishing everyone a well-deserved and safe summer ahead. So that concludes my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, staff dismissal. We do have staff that are working right now and they're watching. So there is staff dismissal. So we're going to move on with our agenda. And we're going to discuss our general agenda. And what we're going to start with is enclosure number 27, a review of the governor's May revision to the 22-23 state budget proposal. This is a very anticipated presentation here. I think it really is.
Not really.
No, you don't ignore that. I just dismissed staff. This is a very important presentation.
Well, good evening, President Guerrero, members of the board. Welcome, Mr. Schrum. I see we've got your nameplate already. We'll get you some bug spray here. I'm gonna go over the May revision. This is kind of our last check-in and data point that the governor issues before the state adopts the budget. And so we're now in our kind of final stages of preparing our district budget, and we'll bring that to the board in June. First reading will be June 14th, and then adoption on the 28th. there's a lot of good news in this budget. As you mentioned, there's been a lot of anticipation for what it might be after hearing what was in the January proposal. And in the May revision, everything is better. There's more additional funding and almost every program receives additional funding beyond what was in January. But it's kind of hard to not look around at what's happening in the economy and think that this is a windfall for the state. And we still need to be cautious because there's still inflationary concerns, supply chain, this COVID thing is still going around. And we know that a lot of the one-time money that we have is going to expire in the next couple of years. So I'll jump into the presentation. We like to give credit where credit's due. School services put together most of the slides that you're going to see tonight, and they do a presentation on the governor's budget, and we just repeat what they say. So some things for the governor's budget. It's a $300 billion budget. I don't think it's never been over 250 billion before. So there's a lot more money in this budget than what we saw last year. And this is the everything budget. So there's something in there that addresses every issue you can imagine, from homelessness to public education to climate change. There's something in it for everybody. And again, while we do see that there are robust revenues now, a lot of what the governor's proposing with discretionary funding is one time. I think up to 94% of the discretionary money is given out on one-time basis. So we'll go through some of the major proposals in his budget and compare from January to May. COLA in May is estimated at 6.56%. That's up from 5.33 in January. Many of the programs receive additional funding. So the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program is 4.8 billion statewide. And that's, again, a lot of increases over what was in January. Facilities, the state facilities program, putting money one time into that program, an increase of 1.8 billion. Not too many changes for universal TK and universal meals. We'll talk about what that means as well as career pathways. Transportation, school bus electrification is the same. And then 3 additional proposals that were not in the January proposal. The biggest being 8 billion in discretionary one-time funding, deferred maintenance, additional funding, and then an additional LCFF investment, and that was 2.1 billion to increase base funding. So a little bit more detail here on the ongoing investments. I mentioned about 12.7 billion in ongoing investments in the state budget for next year. That's mostly in the additional COLA, the additional money for expanded learning, and then the additional LCFF investment that was not included in January. Many of these other programs stayed the same. And then many one-time investments. So 16.8 billion, half of that, nearly half being the discretionary block grant. That is additional one-time money. Community schools is another program that we're looking to apply to. That allows for some additional investments for things like social workers and mental health activities on school sites. And then again, some of these other investments that were not included in the January proposal, like deferred maintenance. So this is the pyramid, our LCFF funding factors. This is how the formula is built. It starts at the bottom with base grants that are by grade span. So K3 receives a different funding level than 9 through 12. And then the COLA is added on top of that. So 6.56% is added to increase those base grants. And then there are grade span adjustments for TK3, which we use to reduce class size, as well as in 9 through 12, which we've used for career tech and those kind of programs. And then we receive supplemental and concentration grant funds, which we've commonly called LCAP, but LCAP includes other funding besides that. And those are based on our unduplicated pupil percentages. And then this year, an additional funding of 2.1 billion, that's to increase the base. We don't have all of the detail on what each of these funding levels will be for next year. The county office has been working on new calculators that we use to arrive at the new revenue amounts. And there's some significant changes that are going to make that a little difficult to actually build into our budget, but we will have that information by the time the state budget is adopted. Little more detail on discretionary block grant. As I mentioned, it's $8 billion, $13.60 per ADA. So for us, that's between $34 and $35 million. And that's one-time funds. There is some language around what those funds are intended to be used for, but it doesn't have legal restrictions on the money. So it can be used for any one-time purpose. The Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, $2,500 per student. That says per classroom-based ADA, so per student. And that's for TK through 6. So we have about 11,000 or so students that qualify for that funding. It's about 25 million for us because it's based on, again, average daily attendance, which is a little bit lower than enrollment. So it's about $25 million for us. And this, again, is an ongoing program to provide that 9-hour school day and 30 additional days in the school year. There is some funding for infrastructure for expanded learning. That'll be distributed over 4 years. And I believe that's an ADA basis as well. And then UTK, there's no changes to UTK. This just kind of shares what that transition period is. And so in 25-26, Mr. Guerrero, all those preschool kids that were in pre-K, they'll be in our TK classrooms. So, and that's whose 4th birthday occurs by September 1st. Child nutrition, so beginning in 22-23, will be required to provide 2 free meals per day to any student who requests a meal. So we're under community eligibility provision for most of our schools. So we've already been providing meals at no cost to students. This will bring in those last 4 schools, I believe, that are not on community eligibility provision to provide access to free meals. No big changes to independent study. It's still the only way that we can provide any kind of virtual learning outside of the classroom. The only change that it will apply to the Royal Oaks program is that synchronous instruction can be used to calculate that apportionment rather than the student work product. So some of the time that they spend in the synchronous instruction will be able to be used for calculating attendance. So that's a big change for that program. Otherwise, no other changes that we're aware of to independent study. Just a reminder of all of the one-time funding that we did receive, the ESSER funds, state monies that came through in-person instruction grants, and some of this money has already been spent, but this is all of the funding that's out there. Some of it is going to be carried over into our budget for the next 2 years. It's our expanded learning plan funding that we're using one-time dollars to fund many intervention type activities. And then just some of the dates around the expiration of those funds. We will be sure that we have the 3 pots of funding that expire in September 30th, spent by September 30th. We spend our most restricted money first. It wouldn't be me up here if I didn't talk about the challenges that are still ahead of us. And so, there is a proposal to address the decline in ADA. So the governor's proposal includes averaging over the last 3 years our attendance, as well as using our higher attendance from 1920 and our current enrollment to get to an ADA for this year. That's what's making the calculator such a challenge because it's not built in that way. But there are some things that will help offset that, but there was no specific relief anyway in the governor's budget for pension cost increases. We will see a 2+% increase in those rates, which is about $5 million to our budget for next year. We do also know minimum wage will increase. We're at $15 now to go to $15.50 next year. So we're still managing minimum wage increases and working on that challenge. And then we know that for 22-23, the reserve cap of 10% will be in place on our reserve for economic uncertainty. So lots of one-time money that we have, but we can't set it aside into a reserve. We're going to need to do something else with those dollars. So as I mentioned, most of the governor's discretionary funding is being used for one-time type projects. And many of the calls that we were making to not add new programs to increase the base were heard. And so that's included in this budget as well. So we'll hope that that remains when the legislature, the Senate and the Assembly now have the opportunity to negotiate what that final budget package will be. They have some different ideas. What we've heard is the governor's budget is really the baseline because they would like to do more. So we'll see how that plays out in the budget. Has to be adopted by June 15th. We hear that they're gonna try to meet over this weekend and come to a decision and a deal that they can bring forward for a vote. So we'll stay tuned for that. And that concludes my presentation. If there are any questions.
Are there any questions or comments from the board? Well, thank you.
Next time I'll bring some students up.
I was going to say, they're missing out that they all left.
That was information only. Our next item on the agenda is Visalia Unified School District Summer Facilities update. Eric Kerr, Chief Operations Officer.
All right. Good evening, President Guerrero, incoming Superintendent Shrum, members of the board. Eric Kerr, Operations, pinch hitting for Steve Pena tonight on this. So we'll go through some. Oh, what they do. Okay. There we go. So we're going to go through some of the summer projects, the ongoing projects that we're already working on, and we'll have a little bit of a look ahead into next year. So some of the projects that we have right now, Green Acres is in progress right now. They're in phase 2. They'll be starting phase 3 in June. We'll be doing the 6 science rooms. And then in phase 4, we'll be doing the locker room HVAC replacement. The boys' locker room, believe it or not, at Green Acres does not have air conditioning. It has a swamp cooler. So we'll be replacing that. And we'll be doing the restrooms. That will be completed in August. And then the technology package, instructional monitors and TVs will be installed, a new phone system and wireless access points along with the fire alarm. And so that's a really hard slide to read, but it just does show the hashed areas are all the areas that are being touched in the modernization. Here's some pictures. So there's a before, phase 2. See, we're going all the way down, taking out the floor down to the dirt. This is some of their exterior hallways. And then this is the concrete going back. The next one on our list is Elbow Creek. Mr. Guerrero, I think you mentioned that you were out there. Elbow Creek modular program is in progress right now. They're getting 3 classrooms. This is the work that's going on right now. You can see that the new buildings, I believe, are landing at the end of this week or next. So this is the footings and the foundations are in place out there at Elbow Creek. That work will continue over the summer and then be completed for next school year. At the adult school, one of their classroom buildings, the Cedar building, is being modernized at the adult school. There's some of the work. See, it's torn down to the studs. The HVAC is being replaced, and new walls and finishes and fixtures will go in. Blue Oak, one of our independent charters, is getting modernization. They're getting new HVAC units, new drinking fountains, suspended ceilings, and finishes on the walls, as well as a technology package. They'll also have construction of some new classrooms out there. Classroom wing, there's 2 kindergarten rooms, 7 standard classrooms, a STEM room, and some restrooms. And then also updating the utilities, as well as a new traffic circulation pattern. And if you've ever been out there, you know that they desperately need that. So that will be a good win for them. Mineral King is completed. They had their grand open house last week, I believe. So this is some before and some after. Those of you that attended that know that campus, it really came out nice. The classrooms, if you remember Mineral King, the classrooms had those old sliding metal and glass walls that were all screwed shut. And so all of that stuff was ripped out and replaced with new walls and fixtures and finishes, new ceilings, new lighting. And then Sierra Vista Field on Sierra Vista's campus is getting new lighting. They've got light poles now. They're I don't know, 10, 15 feet tall. They will be getting state-of-the-art LED lighting, which is kind of standard 80-foot tall, like what you would see at at a stadium. So they will be able to get full use out of that at that varsity baseball field as well as the football practice field there, day and night. So that'll be, that's starting right now. That will be completed over the summer. Crowley will be starting soon. 5 buildings being modernized there, new technology package. The big win at Crowley, I want to show you the traffic pattern. So those of you who are familiar with Crowley, here's the existing very small parking lot. Here's the street. There's not a lot of room to do anything. Well, those 2 classrooms that are right there, those 2 portables will be removed, and this will be the new traffic pattern. So they will actually have a pull-in, a turnaround, and a drop-off area, and it will really improve the traffic flow at Crowley. So we're excited about that. That work is ongoing. And then our big project for this summer, mobilization is going on right now. Equipment is starting to drop. The Redwood Gym, about almost a $9 million project. New bleachers, new flooring, new lighting, pulling out the swamp coolers in the ceiling and putting in HVAC. That will complete. We will then have 4 high school gyms that all have air conditioning, believe it or not, which is a good thing. That gym will also get, those of you who are familiar with Redwood's gym, that really ugly stuff that's on the ceiling looks kind of like, I don't know what, fuzzy something. All that's going to get taken off. It's in the locker rooms as well. So the locker rooms will get a new ceiling and new HVAC. So that's going to be an ongoing project that will probably complete October, November. So we will miss the beginning of school, but we've got plans in place for them to be able to work with that until we complete that. Some projects that are in bidding and in design right now. So as you know, Valley Oak, the middle schools are being modernized for science. It's at DSA for Valley Oak. Estimated start date is December. Divisadero is also in design. There'll be some seismic mitigation at both Valley Oak and at Divisadero because of the age of the structures. And so we'll need to do some mitigation there. And so that's taking the design, pushing it out a little bit longer. And then also La Jolla will get modernization in their science classrooms as well, along with their boiler chiller will be replaced as well. Measure A security. Oh, by the way, the middle schools are all Measure A and then Measure A security. So we're talking about cameras right there, camera right there, and as well as the access control system. So that's part of the Measure A security, and that is working its way through our schools. VCIS, Grace Church, everyone's heard about that. That is in design right now. Here's some existing pictures of the church. And then again, floor plan, it's kind of hard to see, but this is the new floor plan. Here's the kind of the main entrance. You see classrooms here and then other larger spaces. When we have those plans and get some renderings, we'll bring that back. And then some energy efficiency projects. We have EV charging stations at Golden West and Redwood, as well as batteries at Sierra Vista. And the last of our solar sites, well, that will complete the solar projects at all of our sites. Elbow Creek is getting a ground mounted system, which is why it's taking it a little bit longer. The fencing went in today, or actually this week, to enclose. So it will have ground mounted solar array in the far right, sharing the fence with the hall right there. So it's kind of back in the back by the custodial storage shed. So the main part of the schools, here's the office. So it's in this back corner. That'll be a ground mounted solar array at Elbow Creek. And then finally, HVAC replacements at La Jolla. So these will be boiler and chiller removal. So La Jolla, Pinkham, Mount Whitney High School cafeteria, and Redwood Library. Those will all be done. Those will all be paid for with ESSER funds. So those are all in the process of design or schematic design. La Jolla is already at DSA awaiting approval. And that's it. That was a lot, but it's near the end, so I wanted to go fast. Tried to give you some pictures.
Questions or comments from the board?
Thanks. I have one thing, the EV charging stations, I was just trying to remember from the meeting that I went to. Those charging stations are being paid for by a grant, right?
Yes,
And this
correct.
and Sierra Vista's battery project, that too? Or
Yes.
just- Okay.
Yeah, well, some of that's funded by grants. We also fund some of that with energy savings in the agreements that we sign as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay,
All right,
I
thank
have a
you.
question. So I don't want to get this thing lost through all the discussions and changes and whatnot, but when we talked about VCIS moving out to Lover's Lane,
Yes,
I asked specifically about the theater and taking a look at the theater and getting some estimates in terms of expanding that theater, if that could be done.
yes.
And so I'd like to have that discussion sometime in the future. I don't want to do it now,
Okay.
but I want to discuss it in the upcoming.
We've already started some, we've already actually had an acoustic engineer in there and looking at what we need to do to kind of make it a little more acoustically pleasing, I guess, for the groups that we want to put in there. And we've also talked to some structural engineers about things that we can and cannot do to that.
Thank you.
So
Very
we
much.
can have those
Very much
conversations
appreciate. that.
whenever you want.
Okay, so our next item on the agenda is item enclosure number 29, which is part of the revision, which is recommended reinstatements. Would any board member like to
I'll
make a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll
Mr.
second.
Selena motions to approve, Ms. Nader seconds, all in favor. So what I'm gonna do now is read the roll call. Ms. Blair,
Yes.
okay, Ms. Selena,
Yes.
okay, Ms. Gaby,
Yes.
okay, Ms. Naylor.
Yes.
Okay, and Juan Guerrero votes yes. The vote is 5 in favor with 2 absent. With that, there are no more items on the agenda. This meeting is adjourned.